I was a single mom at that point, and my parents lived in Boise, Idaho, and I lived in Colorado. So they were 800 miles away. So we didn't get to see them very often. And they called and asked if they could take the kids for a month, spend some time with them, and they wanted to take them to Disneyland. And they invited me if I wanted to go. I didn't have that much time, so I drove the kids there. We had a fun road trip on the way, and I stayed a few days, and then I came back home to have a little bit of time to myself before I had to go to work on Monday. And on this particular day, I woke up. I got home on Thursday night, and this was Friday, I believe. And it was a beautiful day, no clouds in the sky, and the temperature was perfect. So I went flower shopping because I had a big backyard deck that had big pots that were screaming for flowers. And after I loaded my flowers and my dirt and everything that I needed in the back of my car, I headed home. But I had not fastened my seatbelt. I was going to fasten it on the way. And I was only about a block and a half away from the nursery. But when I pulled out of the parking lot, it was the 3 lanes going in both directions. And there was no traffic to be concerned about. And so I pulled into the right lane, and then I moved over to the middle lane and waited at the light that had turned green, and then proceeded through the intersection. There still was no cars. There was one car coming in the opposite direction, but was going straight, so it wasn't a concern. And then when I went through the intersection, it was a big, I call it hill, because it dips a little bit. This was a hill. It had a downward motion for quite some time. And I noticed, even though I was, nobody was around me, I was catching up to this car that was sitting in the middle of the road at the bottom and wasn't moving, but there was no traffic light or anything down there. So I wasn't sure why he had stopped. But there was a park on one side of the road and then a grassy area on the other. And I thought, what happens if a little kid, chased a ball out there, or was crossing the road or something? So, because I could have gone on either side of him, but what direction would that child be going? So I stopped behind him, and then I looked in my rearview mirror, and all this traffic had started to catch up because of the time I had sat at the light. And there was traffic, cars in every lane, and they were coming down so fast, like horses on a racetrack. And the gentleman in the pickup that was in my lane was distractedly looking to the right. So I don't know if he was looking to change lanes and realized there was a car there, but he didn't see that we were stopped. Nobody saw that we were stopped. And I thought in my mind, oh God, he's going to hit me, because I knew there was no doubt about it. And then all of a sudden I heard this voice say, lay down across the seat and cover your face, because I didn't have time to put my seatbelt on. And so I did what I was told, but I was the only one in the car. So who was talking to me? And when I laid down across the seat, I covered my face, and then the first impact happened, and it was just like somebody bumping the side of the bed. It was very gentle. And I thought, oh, that's not so bad. And then so I brought my hands down so I could see above me, and I saw the glass shattering in slow motion, like a wave as it went up, and it was creating a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork. And I knew I had to cover my face again because I was afraid of the rain of glass that would come down. And then all of a sudden I felt an arm come under my shoulders and an arm come under my knees, and I was picked up by something that I couldn't see. Probably the sumo sumo wrestler. That's what I could. Then all of a sudden, I was up above the accident scene looking down. And there's pictures of that in the book too. And I could see my car, and I was looking through a clouds, even though it was a cloudless day. So I was in another dimension looking back into this one. Whereas in the first one, I was in this dimension looking into that one. After all the impacts were done, I was snapped back into my body. But while I was up there, I could feel arms of angelic beings holding me up there. That's who took me up. And then I was snapped into my body. Only I was still in the front seat, across the seat, with my face, with my arms that way. But my legs were over the steering wheel instead of under the steering wheel. So I hurriedly turned off the ignition to the car and sat up. And that motion, I started to feel a gushing, like energy going up to my head. And I felt like a thermometer that was about ready to explode. And I held my head saying, oh, my head hurts, my head hurts. And then this guy, before that, this guy came up and he said, are you okay? And at that time I was okay before this had happened. And I said, but I lost my glasses because I had worn my glasses that day. And so he found them on the front seat floor and gave them to me.